Dark Ninja. It's a name that conjures images of shadow warriors and ancient Japanese mystique, but the dark ninja I met in the dusty Texan town of Mesquite was anything but. This was a ninja who wore mismatched pajamas beneath his trench coat. He patrolled the aisles of the local gas station, not ancient temples. This was Dark Ninja, and his story is one of delusion, isolation, and the desperate yearning for connection in a world that seems to have left him behind. He introduced himself, his real name lost to a world that refused to acknowledge his true calling. "Call me Dark Ninja," he said, a nervous tremor in his voice. I could see the earnestness in his eyes, the unshakable belief in his own fabricated reality. He truly believed he was a ninja, a warrior of stealth and cunning. But the only battles he fought were against the encroaching boredom of his own existence. He showed me his katana, a cheap plastic replica bought online. He told me about the hours he spent practicing his moves, mimicking the elaborate fight sequences from his favorite anime. It was a sad and strangely endearing spectacle, a testament to the power of belief, even when that belief is rooted in fantasy. Dark Ninja's world wasn't entirely confined to the dusty streets of Mesquite. He was the self-proclaimed shogun of a digital realm, a Discord server he called Sweet Taste of Date. It was a chaotic and sparsely populated kingdom, a haven for misfits and outcasts drawn together by their shared love of anime and their inability to navigate the complexities of the real world. He showed me his server, his fingers flying across the keyboard as he navigated the various channels dedicated to his favorite anime. Naruto, My Hero Academia, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. These weren't just shows to Dark Ninja, they were lifelines, portals to worlds more exciting and fulfilling than his own. He spent hours each day on his server, chatting with his online acquaintances, escaping the crushing loneliness of his offline existence. He told me about his online friends, the people who truly understood him. There was Olive Oil, a cam girl he had never met, but who he showered with gifts and compliments. And then there was LimeWire Jessie, a fellow anime enthusiast who had introduced him to the world of My Little Pony. They were his confidants, his support system, the only people he felt he could truly be himself around. Dark Ninja's greatest dream was to visit Japan, the birthplace of his beloved anime. He longed to walk the streets of Tokyo, to visit the Akihabara district, to immerse himself in the culture that had captivated his imagination since he was a child. But it was a dream forever out of reach, a cruel irony given his chosen online moniker. He told me about his failed attempts to save money, his minimum wage job at the gas station barely covering his rent and the costs of his medication. He suffered from type 1 bipolar disorder, a condition that made holding down a steady job and maintaining relationships a constant struggle. He talked about his medication, the lithium that kept the darkest thoughts at bay, but also seemed to dull the vibrancy of his already limited world. He showed me the meticulously crafted itinerary he had created for his dream trip, a testament to his meticulous planning and the depth of his yearning. It was a heartbreaking document, filled with details about shrines he would never visit, restaurants he would never eat at, and experiences that would forever remain out of reach. Dark Ninja struck me as a man out of time, a relic of a bygone era, struggling to adapt to a world that had moved on without him. He was an incel, bitter and resentful of the women he felt had rejected him. He blamed his failed marriage on his ex-wife's infidelity, convinced she had left him for a Chad, a caricature of masculinity he could never hope to emulate. He showed me his anime body pillow, the closest thing he had to a companion in his lonely world. He confessed that he often talked to it, confided in it, pretended it was the girlfriend he so desperately craved. It was a poignant and ultimately tragic image, a symbol of the profound isolation that had come to define his life. As I left Dark Ninja to the confines of his self-imposed solitude, I couldn't help but feel a profound sense of sadness. His was a life of missed connections, unrealized potential, and the crushing weight of unfulfilled desires. He was a man lost in a world he no longer understood, a digital warrior trapped in an analog world, a ninja forever confined to the shadows of his own making.